Audible lets you enjoy all your audio entertainment in one app.
Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, from bestsellers and new releases to celebrity memoirs, and what I'm really into these days, mysteries and thrillers.
Love them. And one of our friends, Elena Urquhart, you might know her from a little podcast called Morbid, wrote The Butcher and the Wren. It's a really great thriller about a serial killer. I mean, it is so scary. I cannot wait for the next one. And I love to listen to it.
And guess what? As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/Crappens or text Crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/Crappens or text Crappens to 500-500. You know, Ronnie, I use DoorDash all the time to get food from restaurants, but what's really cool about it is that you can also use it for groceries and like tons of stuff. Home essentials, pet food would be good for you. I mean, there's actually so much more than just restaurant delivery.
Oh, I know. I use them all the time for all sorts of things.
I love to cook. You love to cook. And I can't tell you how many times I am midway down my recipe and I realize I am out of something and I just can get some nice fresh veggies delivered to my door super quickly to finish that meal.
And the DoorDash app allows you to customize, you can substitute, you can schedule and track your order, and you can communicate with your shopper while you're receiving real-time updates.
I know. It's kind of like an all-in-one solution for our lifestyles.
You can shop with DoorDash and enjoy big savings. Use code Crappens24 to get 50% off up to a $10 value on $15 minimum subtotal on your next convenience, grocery, or retail order. For eligible users only, terms apply. Do you struggle trying to reach those corner lashes when applying mascara? L'Oreal Paris' new Panorama Mascara catches every lash for corner-to-corner volume.
Your sister has been using this, right?
She loves it. Yes, they sent me some, and I gave it to my sister and my nieces. And actually, I looked at, I saw my niece the other day and was like, your eyelashes, is that the new mascara? She's like, yes, look at them. They were like fanned out. I mean, this is a great product.
You can buy Panorama Mascara on Amazon today.
Want to see life in panorama with fully fanned out lashes? Now you can with L'Oreal Paris Panorama Mascara that creates corner-to-corner panoramic lash volume.
Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
This is part 2 of a 2-part recap. If you're wondering where part 1 was, well, go check in the feed and be sure to subscribe so that way you always get your episodes. But enough of that. Let's get right back into the episode.
Well, let me tell you what Candace should have grabbed instead of a champagne bottle to hit somebody with. And that is
frozen Milky Way.
Because those things pack. They pack it. Okay, so now the conversation moves over to Charisse basically is tattling on Candace, right? She's like, she got the champagne bottle, but I saved her and I stopped her. And then Cal's like, wait a minute. Fucking Cal. We know why you're here, agent of Giselle. Okay, Cal. Untrustworthy Cal, in this conversation at least. He's like, well, why would she grab the bottle? It doesn't fucking matter, Cal. She didn't use the bottle. Okay, so stop getting so excited that you have evidence to take to your queen.
Well, and so Charisse is like, well, that was her reaction when the girl drew through the drink. So I think somebody stomped on my toe or something because my freshly polished toes have, some scuff on it. So the real victim here, Charisse's pedicure.
Yeah, Charisse is like, I'm not here to tattletale. I'm here to talk about my nail getting scratched. Okay.
I'm starting a GoFundMe for my big toe. Thank you very much.
And Giselle's like, well, this has left a stain on GNA. GNA is a stain. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't.
You're a GNA that still has nothing up on the website except a pair of socks and some Mackenzie's Child Christmas decorations. Stain on GNA.
I'm not sure this is really. I'll tell you what left the stain on GNA: the G and the A. It's like, oh, here's a brand. Oh, it's by Giselle and Ashley. Never mind.
So she's like, we've been working on GNA for so long. Yes, you guys are really like Steve Jobs in the garage with
yes
the windows.
So Karen goes, it angers me. And Ashley says,
I agree, and I'm so thankful that like we had like a great show, and like what Deborah tells me is that like while she was sitting there, she could hear Candace and Wendy like talking about her, so she got up and was like, "You're talking about me."
so she's just trying to basically blame this whole fight on Candace and Wendy. Candace and Wendy have a right to talk shit as much as anyone else does on this party and in this cast.
They're allowed to say whatever they want. It's called using your words, Ashley. Okay. And she's like, yeah, but she was calling her the vermin and the help. I mean, it's not nice. I mean, what do you want? Like, she doesn't get hugs for it, but so like, what? The lady started with her. And so Giselle's like, it's the mouth. It's the mouth. It's the mouth. Ah. And Ashley is saying, yeah, well, when Candace put her hand up like that, Deborah like threw it in her hair. Because she was like giving her the no hand. So she threw a drink at her. So is this supposed to be justifying anything? This is not working out the way you think it is. And then Cal's saying, well, who was there to protect Kay when all these things happened with Candace and Wendy? And Charisse is like, listen, it just went so fast and I'm holding on to Candace. And, you know, Candace didn't go anywhere because I was holding on to her. And then Cal says, if Candace was talking about Deborah and calling names, then you should be able to deal with what happens after. Oh, really? Really, Cal? So she should be able to deal with physical assault? Have you talked to Giselle about that? Who showed up with a fucking bodyguard after the last time there was any sort of physical altercation? Be quiet, Cal.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think actually in this situation, Cal is trying to defend Kierna because Kierna was Cal's friend. And so he's like, I don't know. I think that he's taking a stance that's like not the strongest here. So,
I think he's trying to say that Candace shouldn't be surprised that she caused a fight with words, is what it sounds like to me. He's saying, right. Like, Candace has these words and she should be prepared to deal with the physical stuff that comes after. So that's bullshit. And if that was the case, Giselle could be punched 30 times a season because she gets really fucking low and nasty with people.
I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Candace does. She goes in on people and then she's always surprised when they have reactions, and it's not to blame the victim, but like the truth is that, like, you know, there is such a thing as instigating. I don't think that's what happened in this situation though. I think that you could look at other situations and you could probably make an argument, but I don't think in this situation. So now Mia comes down the stairs with two of Gordon's kids and a third child of unknown origin. And she's like, you know, it took me a couple of days to recover mentally, but I'm glad that we are able to come together and do something really impactful. Yes, I love how I'm so glad they're doing something impactful, like posing in a local magazine as Mariah Carey. Changing the world one photo shoot at a time.
Seriously, the oceans just went down an inch. So that is her kid, right? The third kid.
No, of course, they're all her kids. The question is, are they all Gordon's kids?
Oh, I was going to say, I don't pay much attention to the kids on this show. I remember the two younger ones, but not the third older one. But I guess that just goes to show you how much I pay attention.
It's a plot point a little bit later.
So then I took notes on this, but I'm still like, wow. Actually, I guess I didn't. So then Mia comes down the stairs with her kids. Yeah. Okay. You already said that. Okay. So a lot of small talk about how great she is, you know, and like she's really showing her kids that you can make a difference in this world by just, you know, putting on a pretty dress and getting someone to take your picture. Just sweet. And then Gordon talks to, I don't know. Robin arrives. People are coming.
45 minutes into the show. People still coming down that staircase.
Should we just skip to the end? What happens? No. Okay, I'm going to give you a pop quiz. What happens of note?
Okay, well, let's see. So they're coming down the stairs. Robin comes in. She's like, I didn't see any of it. So this was noted. I enjoyed this. Candace's sister goes up to Ashley and is basically like, do this one more fucking time. And I'm like, you're gonna have to deal with me. She's like, yeah, so you're not bringing your friend around, are you, again, are you? And Ashley does this whole thing of like, yeah, no, I'm upset with her, and like the last thing I ever wanted was to see two people I know and care about ever get into a fight, especially at my event. Oh my goodness. And
it's a stain on GNA.
Yeah. And one thing that people have been pointing out online is that Ashley is playing the like, I didn't even really see what happened. But when you look at the video, Ashley's right in the middle trying to break it up. So she was right there. But yeah, Crystal's like, no good. So now Candace arrives next. And she's like, well, we had successfully made it through the Sears fashion show. We had made it through the Sears fashion show, and I'd partaken in all the festivities. And out of nowhere, I look, and oh my God, it's Cookie Monster. And it says, do you have something you want to say to me? And I said, I don't speak to you. All of a sudden, the thing is lunging at me. Before I can even figure out what to do next, Kierna is fighting with it. And I don't even know how it got there. It literally happened so fast. And somehow it's all going to be my fault.
Yeah. So then, let's see. So then Wendy comes and she's like, this event today feels so heavy because of what happened today. So heavy. Okay, Wendy. Like literally
They're all acting like
is fine.
They're all acting like they've had more than 2 conversations with Kierna the entire season. They're all like, poor Kierna. Poor Kierna. And just after she'd gotten over her diarrhea.
Yeah, one of my biggest regrets happened to my friend after she had trouble with diarrhea this season. It's very, very heavy, this event. Okay. And she goes, and I love that Wendy's always over dramatizing hospital visits. She goes, I just don't know how we can kiki and haha when most of us just came home from a hospital at 4 a.m. just a few days ago. Oh, really?
Okay.
So going to a hospital 4 days ago to see somebody else who's fine.
She did not lose an arm. She did not lose an arm. Okay. So Karen says, well, you know what? Deborah is actually mad with the wrong person. What she needs to be mad at was with herself, because she said that Chris was flirting with her, and her watch, and we watched it, and he was not. I'm like, I'm not going to give Deborah really any credit for anything, but I will say, I think if Deborah's going to be mad at anyone, she is mad at the right person, because Candace has gone on and called her a Muppet on TV, and now we all call this woman a Muppet. So I think if she's going to be mad, I think she's mad at the right person.
A Muppet for years. Listen, we coined Austin as a Muppet. You used to post pictures of him as Fozzie Bear, and then someone on Southern Charm picked up on it, and now everybody in the world calls him Muppet. Do you need to get punched in the face next time somebody sees you out? No,
I'm not saying that any of this was deserved, but I'm just saying Karen's logic, she's mad at the wrong person. I'm like, no, I think. Does she deserve to be this mad, or should she have started a fight? No. But if she is going to be mad, I think, Candace is the one she would be mad at.
She chose the right person. Yeah, she was aiming. Her aim was bad, but she was trying to aim at the right person.
She didn't use that anger in a productive or good way, but,
Okay, yeah, I see. So then Candace has a good read. She's like, no, she's going to be mad at me because that's how she elevates herself and gets herself a job on TV. Duh. And so Wendy's like, I have a lot of questions for Ashley. Oh, good. Do we get to do it for your fucking YouTube show? Here's the thing about Wendy, okay? I used to really like Wendy. Wendy is just, and this is a criticism I've had, I think, for the whole season, and not just Wendy, but especially Wendy. You're just not fun. You're just not fun. You're just not fun. It's not fun shade. It's just, and then in the end, when all this stuff is happening with Mia and Gordon, and Mia's just sitting there laughing at the camera, it's just like a not fun. It's just a gross energy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm over it. And I keep checking the Instagram to see if Mia's next, to see if Wendy is next on the announcement train today.
Well, I can't help but feel that, it sucks for Kierna that she got 12 stitches or whatever. That sucks. It's so not right. It's fucked up. Deborah is 100% wrong. 100% wrong in this situation. And
did I just turn on Pornhub because I sense a butt coming?
No, there's no butt.
Oh.
That's funny though.
Like a butt was here.
That was a funny little phrase.
Get Pornhub in Texas now. Thanks a lot, Texas. You're really just killing it over
Really?
here.
They blocked Pornhub?
They passed some stupid law, so now all the porn sites are shutting down in Texas.
So
Texas passed some law where they can sue you because your kid saw porn or something. I don't know.
I thought the right wing was all about free speech these days.
No.
So
they're about paid porn, I'll tell you that much.
So anyway, what I was going to say is it's terrible what happened to Kierna. The cast members, like Wendy, is truly acting like Kierna lost all her limbs and, has been in a coma for 4 months. And so it's like, it sucks what happened to Kierna, but also like, I guarantee, like, you go home and then you start to move on with your life. You're like, okay, she's better. Great. And honestly, I feel like on a different franchise, we might see people being like, can you believe what happened to Kierna? That is wild. Oh my God, that fight. And I feel like what happens with these fights is, especially on this show, the fights get used as leverage against other cast members to either prove points, maybe try to get them off the show. So because of that, they have to like impart a huge amount of like seriousness to what happened. And I mean, obviously violence and fighting is not good. It's not the answer. And it is serious. Like someone really could have gotten hurt and everything. And I'm also keenly aware that there are a lot of other issues that circle around a fight on this show versus a fight on like the real world, right? Like there's different stuff that goes on, stuff that has to do with our society and yada, yada, yada. But what I am also adding is that I do feel like Wendy coming in and saying like, I just feel like there's a heaviness in the air is also
you are
maybe
the heaviness in the air. You are literally the smog.
It's like, I think it like leaning into that a bit to sort of weaponize the fight against your, who you want to get off the show. And I'm not saying it's not just Wendy. It's everyone's doing it. Everyone wants to sort of be like, this was such a serious, terrible thing, which is why so-and-so should be fired, right? I feel like that's what the vibe is.
Yeah, but also it's just already happened on this show, so it's not as impactful. You know what I mean? It's happened, and it's happened with people that we actually care about as an audience, not Deborah and some new girl. You know what I mean? So like, sorry, it's not gonna land the same. And Wendy, this is just not an opportunity for you to have a summit where we all need to listen to you lecture the cast. You know what I mean? Which it's going to turn into. And it's not just Wendy, it's Karen too. But at least Karen does it in a fun way. That's the difference. Yeah. Karen fun, Wendy not fun. What can I tell you? Karen is offense. Wendy is not offense. Okay.
So Nneka and I come in next.
Let's see here.
So Nneka arrives.
I'm not even making any sense at this point.
Nneka arrives and she's like, Shasha, what happened to your foot? She goes, oh, it's from the other night. I was trying to break up some stuff and I got pushed aside to the couch. And by the time I got up from the couch, they were on the floor. And the point is this: if you'd like to donate to the GoFundMe for my big toe, you can go to www.saveshashastoenail.com. Thank you.
Campaign. Now they're talking about how Robin checked on Kay because she's such a good person. And then Charisse pulls Candace aside and she's like, listen, that was mayhem. You're better than that, Candace. She goes, yes, I am. She's like, but really, for her, come on, Candace, you're so talented. And we've had this conversation 1,000 times. Thankfully, next time we have it, it's going to be on circular chairs in the champagne room. Now, what were you going to do with that bottle? Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
What were you going to do with that bottle? And how comfortable are you on a hoverboard? Do you think you could still hold a champagne bottle while on a hoverboard? I need to know for production for upcoming podcast episode.
And Candace is like, well, if she had come after me, I needed to protect myself. So I had the champagne bottle. And she's like, yeah, but you would have gone to jail because that's illegal. Because Candace is like, not if she touched me first. And she's like, so what are you going to, come on. So then.
You still would have been in jail. It still would have been a bad luck for your music career.
Well, yeah, to pop somebody over the head with a champagne bottle. So Candace, Ashley's like, when Candace picked up that bottle, it surprised me because, Candace is not going to do it, right? But I don't think she's going to do anything. But at the same time, here comes Ashley. Here she comes, guys, in case you were worried she wasn't clocking in. She's like, but at the same time, it's not really a good look for you to have a champagne bottle in your hand. Like, oh my gosh, come on. Like, it looks like you're going to do something. And, it's the second time with her. It's not like it's the first time. Here she comes. I knew she was going to come.
It's also the second time for Deborah.
This is all.
Second time for Deborah being a disaster. Ashley, if you're so concerned about people not thinking through their actions, maybe you should look at yourself and who you invite to parties.
Right. Or the fact that you had a second child with Michael.
When all else fails, remember who you've had sex with.
You want to talk about doing stupid things twice. There's one.
I know. Candace is like, well, thank you for your motherly instincts, which is my very polite way of saying, you're older than me, so stop passing judgment on my champagne bottle. Sorry about your foot. I hope you get pampered for the next 6 months.
Yeah. And she's like, please don't tell my mom I broke your foot. Thanks. So then,
Nneka saying hi. Now Nneka saying hi to people because still saying hi on the show. And
still saying hi.
And now the Grand Dame. Karen's like, everyone, please come over to the table. We need to discuss things. Fence. The fence is calling for a summit. So they come over and she's like, Ashley, thank you for walking over here. And Shasha, thank you for limping over here. And Wendy's like, okay, I'll even say this. Thank you both for coming over. Which, by the way, the way that they were so appreciative that they came over to the table, it makes me wonder just how divided is this cast. I mean, they're acting like it's shocking that they all stood around a table together. Like, are they really so separated when they're shooting that this is like, is it a situation where the only time we see them all together a lot, is it that the producers are like, you guys must shoot together, and when the producers are not saying that, they just go into their own corners? Because their reaction is they're like so impressed that they all just like stood around a high top. Makes me think that this cast is far more divided than we even realized.
They're pretty divided. I mean, it's been rough. But yeah, now's the everybody must apologize. And I think this is what they were trying to recreate, that meeting they had after the Monique issue, the Monique and Candace issue. And they're trying to recreate that. It just doesn't have the same gravity, and no one needs to like sit there and be lectured, but they try it. And Ashley, to her credit, because Ashley is a mess and she did start all this and does it all the time. But Ashley, to her credit, really didn't try to justify anything. She was just like, sorry, I didn't mean to put you in danger. I did put you in danger. That was not cool of me. I shouldn't have had her there. And I'm sorry. She didn't start with the whole, but Candace, your mouth. And Candace, you need to realize I'm going to write a witness statement for Deborah. It was none of that, which to her credit, because she could have gone that way.
Yeah.
And Wendy's like, well, I don't think any of us should be held accountable for what our friends do. However, Candace did say, get away from me. And I'll give credits to myself and Kay and Nneka, who came around from the table and said, let's not do this here. Thank you. We are all credited. We are good people. And Ashley's like, okay, well, in hindsight, I wouldn't have invited Deborah, because now I know that she's going to fucking try to beat somebody up. But,
you know, by the way, I was just thinking about what you were saying about how this meeting did not have gravitas for you. And it didn't for me either, but I'm not sure it was actually intended to have gravitas. I think this was basically Karen's way of saying, okay, everyone, we're not allowing randoms into this group like this. Okay. Like, if you have an issue,
yeah.
Like, you know what? Like these, like the scraps, the wannabes, we're not allowing that. Okay. So this ends here. So I think that when it was with Monique, it was a discussion about like, we have an image to uphold, or we've come so far, and it got into the whole respectability politics, which is, was a whole thing. And I think this one was more like, yeah, not doing this again. Okay, we got to stop these extras.
Well, to that, I would say you're correct, but they're called Friends of, and they were brought in because this has been a dire season, and they needed something in the season finale, which if I need a producer to come in and lecture all of your asses about that, because you all caused this by doing nothing all season.
Also, the past 30 minutes of airtime really could have been substituted for Nneka just saying this, because I think Nneka just lays it out perfectly. And it's like, this is all that needs to be said in my mind, where she says, I feel like Ashley is, well, I wouldn't say this part. Not that Ashley is not to blame. I think Ashley's to blame too. But she goes, I feel like Deborah is dead ass wrong for throwing a drink at all. And I also think she was wrong for getting up and going over there. She should have stayed with her friends, had a good time. And what would have upset them even more was her ignoring them and being a bad bitch. And that's true. That's really if they were talking shit about her, Deborah should have just been a bad bitch, and that would have driven Candace and Wendy nuts. But she lost. Deborah, you lost.
Yeah. It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
Hungry Root is your partner in healthy living. It's the easiest way to get fresh, high-quality groceries and simple, healthy recipes delivered to your door.
Take a fun short quiz, and Hungry Root will get to know your personal health goals, what you like to eat, the kitchen appliances you use, and more. And then they'll build you a personalized cart with all your grocery needs for the week and give you delicious recipe recommendations to put those groceries to good use.
Hungry Root will recommend recipes and groceries based on your personal taste, but each order is fully customizable. I really enjoyed actually doing that quiz. I really felt like something was being customized to my needs and my wants. And the box that came for me, I got so many really helpful meals and also snacks. I can't tell you how many times I was starving in the middle of the day and I was like, oh my goodness, I actually have a snack that I can reach for, including a stroopwafel, by the way.
Everything from Hungry Root follows a simple standard. It's got to taste good, be quick to make, and contain whole, trusted ingredients.
Right now, Hungry Root is offering Watch What Crappens listeners 40% off your first delivery and free veggies for life.
Just go to hungryroot.com/crappens to get 40% off your first delivery and get your free veggies.
That's hungryroot.com/crappens. Don't forget to use our link so they know that we sent you.
When you choose Organic Valley, not only will you be enjoying great tasting dairy, you'll help to save over 1,600 small organic family farms who are protecting over 400,000 acres of organic farmland and all the plants and animals that call it home. This is dairy you can feel good about. It's great tasting, high-quality organic dairy, ethically sourced from small organic family farms. To find Organic Valley Dairy near you, visit ov.coop. That's ov.coop.
So then Mia gives kind of her speech. You know, basically this is, everybody's like, okay, we agree. Ashley apologizes and apologizes and apologizes and apologizes, and they let it go. And they're like, we are women. This is a sisterhood. And we are sisters in a sisterhood. And she just, you know, does all of Dr. Simone's lines from Married to Medicine over and over, which, by the way, also had its final reunion. And it was literally 3 hours of Simone going, we are a sisterhood of sisters. I will not take it. She would like
every
lay
season.
into somebody. She would lay into somebody, and then the next 2 minutes go, this is a sisterhood. I was like, well, which is it? For Christ's sake. But anyway, sorry. She does all Simone's lines, and then Mia gives a speech. She's like, thank you, everybody, for coming to celebrate this iconic moment with us. I can't believe I was only introduced to Will 3 short months ago, and look how far we've come now. Giant pictures, everybody.
So she gives a speech, and there's this like gentle, nice jazz music playing. And she thanks everyone, and she's like,
I just want to do something that was impactful, so I thought, let's dress Robin up like Mariah Carey. And we did it. Yay, Joe. We did it, Joe.
So as she's saying this and she's like complimenting the women, we get our the season ending updates, you know. And what was weird was that she was giving her speech, and then we'd see like a freeze frame of the icon that they were representing in their photo, and then on the right side of the screen would be sort of them in slow-mo smiling and like
so weird,
like sort of like mugging for the camera. So we have, you know, Candace. Candace has been recording new music and plans to shop it to her major label, but she's still focusing on heating up her career before she takes her embryos off of ice. And then Wendy. Wendy has self-released her talk show, The Dr. Wendy Show, on her YouTube channel, and she's hoping that this new venture is the one that finally sticks.
Robin signed a lease for Glow 30. And Karen is renovating the Surrey house. For history, it's a historical home, or possibly a completely new structure.
So
possibly a pool, maybe a mailbox. We don't know.
Tourism. So so now this music is like playing like do 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 do, and Giselle's smiling, and it's like Giselle officially launched her GNA clothing line with Ashley. Sadly, her father Curtis passed away shortly after his surgery. I was like, you can't just like drop that in the middle of this like happy Giselle's smiling montage, and then we just move on to NECA's IUI procedure was unsuccessful. Like that's like. I don't know. It was like it just represents the tonal inconsistency of it all. To me, just represented.
Well, the whole thing of them just doing that like slow motion modeling into the camera and twirling around was just so low budge and weird. It was weird. And then Ashley is still dating, but they're not divorced yet. So then Gordon, of course, can't just let his wife have a fucking moment, dude. I mean, my God, he's like, I also have to speak. Here's what I have to say. Damn, Gordon. He's like, thanks for supporting my wife. She's a real role model, isn't she, guys?
And then he said she's a real role model. And then the screen freezes. And in the corner, they show like a little cutout or bubble almost of Mia welcoming everyone to the joint. And then he's like, she's an absolutely wonderful mother. And like they show another thing. It was like such janky editing. It was like, which intern did they allow to control this show? I'm like, why? What is happening with this show? It not only has presented storylines poorly, it is now actually just presenting our actual visuals poorly. It was, I think, is this trying to be funny? Is it trying to be thoughtful? What is it trying to do in this moment? Why has this show gone so far off the rails?
I don't know. But then the season ends. But did it? Now it's time for the Mia and Gordon scandal.
The cameras pick back up again. So,
Scandamia.
Scandamia.
The Mia Val.
The Mia Scandorton. So, after 11 years of marriage, Gordon and Mia split. So Mia's in her confessional saying,
I'm sorry. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about right now.
Doing her fake tears, pretending like she's actually emotional about this.
Yeah. And we see who's really going through it is Gordon. And we know because he's very upset when he accepts his DoorDash delivery. So he gets a DoorDash and he's like, are we good? To the DoorDash guy. Which I was like, wow, poor Gordon. Don't take it out on the DoorDash guy, But I like that he just wants validation from whoever just brought him his Wendy's. He's like, are we good? Or are you leaving me too? Go ahead, get on the elevator. I don't fucking care anymore.
Oh my God, Gordon, it's the Wendy's guy. Give him a fucking brain.
NECA tells a story about how Gordon reached out in a group text that the men had and said he was trying to get in contact with their wives to tell them about the stuff that's going on with Mia. But like everyone's like, what are you talking about, Gordon? And then
This
a
is
call
when we cut to
occurred.
Eddie and Wendy are doing a confessional. And this is when Wendy's kind of smirking about it. And I'm like, I get that you don't like her, but geez, for 2 seconds, Jesus Christ.
And we're seeing footage like this is 48 hours or Dateline. It's like we see a footage of like a cell phone on a table that's receiving like a FaceTime call.
And Eddie's kind of hinting at what this is about, but nobody actually just says it, which is, a problem because this is a TV show and I don't need your hints. I need you to tell me what the fuck the text said. What is the text? The text came in and it suggested that he was trying to frame Mia. Was he trying to frame her? Was she trying to get information on her to use against her in court? What was he doing? Because that's what they're hinting at, but they don't actually say it.
Because they don't realize just how messy Gordon and Mia are. They're actually trying to be like somewhat discreet out of respect for their family or whatever, not realizing that Gordon and Mia are about to shoot a scene where they just put everything out on the table.
Right. So that's basically what happened. So we start talking about what happened. Mia says that what really started this was when Gordon saw the season 8 trailer, which featured Ashley saying, "Are you married to your husband for money?" And Mia saying, "Well, maybe." And that's when Gordon...
Who would have thought? That was literally the worst trailer that has ever come out for a Real Housewives. And I was like, this is such a terrible trailer. Who would have thought?
The only person that got a rise out of was Gordon.
It was actually the most productive trailer of all.
Remember they were walking past the parachute sheets in slow motion? I'll never forget that trailer. We were
That was like-
what the fuck? What are they in the outdoor mall slow motion dressed to the nines? That was the craziest trailer.
It was like a fake TV sitcom trailer. It, like, nothing made sense. It didn't show anything interesting happening in the season, which now makes sense because nothing did happen that was interesting. But I was like, what is this? But lo and behold, it moved the needle for one person.
Gordon. So, so they talk about this stuff. Basically, she says that really set him off. And this is where I just loved all this because Mia did not try to hide anything the whole season. You know, she's like, yeah, basically fucked a guy for, but also, Gordon, why are you so surprised that she married you for her money? You were paying her $10,000 an hour for her time. And what is she supposed to be attracted to you, Gordon? Is it your nuts dragging on the ground? What do you think it is about a 70-something-year-old man or a 60-something at that time that just you think that, man, this is the thing with men, to have the confidence of a straight male, you know? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to behold. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking.
No, I was going to say, he really thought that she fell in love with him for his chiropractic administration skills. And, you know, I think that he didn't realize it was because of that sweet joint franchise money that he had.
Yeah. So then now we're in the kitchen again, and she's like, so are we going to talk about this, Gordon, or are you just going to keep taking this out on Wendy's delivery people? Okay. How long do I have to sleep in Juju's room? Okay. When are you going back to Charlotte? And he goes, well, if you don't want me here, then you could just say you don't want me here and I'll just go back to Charlotte. But you said you wanted me here to take care of the kids. So here I am taking care of the kids. But if you have a way to get the kids childcare, that would be great. Just let me know. Like, oh, you tell her, Gordon. It's like, you listen here. I'm only here to do your babysitting. It's not that it's babysitting when they're your kids. I've just never heard a husband be like, oh, really? Well, I'm just here to take care of the kids, and then I'll be gone whenever you'd like.
So then he's like, you asked for this, and I don't think you thought this through well enough to think about all the unintended consequences, like having to sleep in Juju's room. So this is one of them, and I've known you've been having an affair for 10 years or longer, and I know you had an affair just before we got married. You tell me how it looks to a married woman going to live with a single man in a 5-bedroom, so sleep in Juju's room.
So that's all he cares about. This guy's a piece of fucking work. By the way, I know that Mia's wrong here, but still, this guy's known. They have an open relationship, and now he's going to yell at her for all of this because she got caught in public or whatever.
Well, I think it's more like, I've been incredibly flexible with you. I've looked the other way. You can get some booty with someone else, and that's fine. But then you're gonna just like go onto TV and just kind of like talk shit about me. Like, no. Like, I've been so generous with you. Look, I even let you sleep in the master bedroom once in a while. But I don't think that Mia is an angel in this situation at all.
No, I don't either. And look, I'm saying Mia's wrong, but it's still just what cracks me up is just the arrogance of the guy. Like,
also, he should just maybe like, rather than displace the mother of your children into your child's room, just hire a nanny and don't come all the way up from Charlotte. I don't know. So,
was he married when they met?
I think so. I don't know. You know, Mia's stories are so slippery because, again, she just lies. So it's hard to really remember everything, but I'm pretty sure he was married to the joint. He was married to a spine and brochures. So yeah, he's like, you tell me how it looks. A married woman going to live with a single man in a 5-bedroom apartment. And she goes, I wasn't living with him. He's like, bullshit. The kids told me. She goes, yeah, well, he wasn't even there half the time. He works in 17 different cities, like always on the road.
Mia,
17 different cities.
You're taking your kids over there to live with. Oh my God, this is so bad. Because of course I want to keep standing up for Mia, and then it just gets worse. So, she's like, he's like, well, the kids were telling me, and they're saying you're sleeping with him, and you're saying you're not sleeping with him. And Jeremiah even said, I saw mommy sleeping with Mr. Ink. Now, this is just a side note. I thought Ink was INK, and it's not. It's Incorporated. I love how business minded Mia is, that she's even fucking a guy named Incorporated. I mean, that's like, she's next.
like,
LLC. She's got them lined up.
I appreciate that you were an LLC, but right these days I'm really looking more for an S corp or better.
But if you want me to know that you're serious, just please, notary, please come in.
So the producer's like, well, would you mind telling us about Mr. Ink's history? And she goes,
Okay, first, he doesn't want to be called that. We can start there. His name is just Ink, not Mr. Ink.
I'm like, okay, I'm so glad we got that settled. And then every time she says his name, they bleep it out, but she is allowed to say Ink, and they literally show his face. So I'm like, why? Like, what is going on with this? Like,
because I think
semi-discretion.
I think what they're saying, I think they're saying his name. They're not saying Mr. Ink. I think they're saying like, so what do you think of Joseph? And she's like, we can't call him Joseph. He's branded as Mr. Ink. Like, he's fine with you guys talking about him on the show.
But she's the one who says his
real name out there.
Wow. So anyway, do not mess with his brand.
I'm like, your brand is INC Incorporated. Like, I hate to break it to you, but that might be a hard brand to look up.
It's rough to Google. It's a rough Google.
It's not the first company to have ink in their name. It's kind of part of what ink stands for. Okay, so she says, like, that's all he asked. Can you believe that? He's like, this guy said, all right, baby, you can talk about our affair. Just please don't mess up my brand.
Don't mess with my stage name. I mean, that is so somebody fucking a Real Housewife right there. So then Gordon's like, look, I had prostate cancer and I knew that my organs weren't working right. And that's why I said you could do what you wanted. But there's 2 rules. Be discreet and don't get the kids involved. And in this case, you got the kids involved while not being discreet. What the fuck? And then I look at your phone bill and you're talking to him. Not only are you going to fuck him, you're talking to him the whole car ride over, all the way until you're in the garage. I was like, well, that shows some restraint that she doesn't come in talking to him while she's like taking off her shoes. Come on, give the woman a break.
He's like, and you also fed you fed the gremlins after midnight, and I think you got one of them wet.
Well, it's hard.
So he says, Juju asked me, Dad, why is Mommy trying to replace you with Mr. Ink? I mean, this is so bad. By the way, the backstory with Mr. Ink, or Ink, sorry, brand issue there, is that they were high school sweethearts. And he was like, and she was sleeping with him when she first got married to Gordon, and Gordon knew this, but they had counseling and she moved on from it. It's like so wild. So Mia's like,
I mean, honestly, Gordon, if you gave me your blessing, why are you upset right now?
And he's like, because you're throwing it in my face and you took the kids to his house. I mean, well, Mia, Jesus. So in Mia's mind, it seems to just be like, okay, that's your daddy who we're married to for stability and because you guys love him. And this is Ink, who we love. And they're both in your life. It's like she's having her own kind of big love over there, Mm-hmm. It's like she's having her own multiple marriage, which, I say more power to you if you can get away with it, It seems like a lot of trouble. I can't even keep one, but, you do you. So the producer asks her when they started rekindling their romance, and she's like, well, it's when I noticed Gordon was not being himself. It's when Gordon went broke. Why are we trying to pretend this is anything other than, okay, the guy I married for his money now no longer has money. I'm sick of this shit.
There's 100% that. Sorry, I just got a call that my security alarm went off in my house. So I might be getting robbed at this moment, and who knows, maybe it's Mia. Who knows?
Does it ever go off on accident or by accident?
It does. It drives me nuts. But it's always very disconcerting.
Do you have cameras in there or anything? Asking for
I've got a Ring cam outside. I'll check it. I'll check it after the podcast. I mean, what can I do? I mean, if there's robbers in there, there's robbers in there. Enjoy some board games.
You're going to come back. Someone's like, I own all the wool in town.
It's like, how did you get into the board game hobby? Well, I robbed someone. And I was like, I might as well try this board game that I stole.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
As a professional welder, Shayna Ford uses Forge FX to practice over and over, which helps her improve her skills.
The more muscle memory that you have, the smoother your weld is.
Learn more at meta.com/metaverseimpact.
So she says she started seeing ink again when Gordon was not himself, and she doesn't know she wants to leave Gordon. And she's been open with Gordon this whole time. He's known about everything. And so Gordon's like, I took your phone for 2 hours because you were talking to that guy. And then you got mad at me and went off to Atlanta. And she goes, yeah, because you took my phone and then locked me in a room. The fuck is going on in this house?
This is not a functional relationship. And he goes, well, wait a minute. I said for 2 hours, you can have it back, get some rest. That's what I locked you in your room so you could have rest. And then I was going to give you your phone back. She goes,
Gordon, you're not my dad. Who does that?
and he goes, well, let me finish. And he goes, no, but there's no let's pause there. And so he's like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. So he
can't
storms
even
out.
lock a woman in a room anymore. I mean, Jesus Christ.
She's like, no. You took my phone. You locked me in a room. And he's like, no, this is unproductive. It's a waste of time. You just can't help yourself. I try and cooperate. I said, look, you want to film me locking me in a room? I will do that. But now look at the generosity you've exploited.
So the producer says, but the open relationship, did that just not include Ink? And he goes, no, because he's there trying to break up our marriage. Well, Ink could probably say you were trying to break up his relationship since high school, Gordon. I mean, really,
yeah.
just to play devil's adv. And she's like, she told me he was my safe zone and that he's her soulmate. She told me this, and now she's denying it. Where are my keys? Where are my keys? What are you so obsessed with locks about? Stop.
Gordon, some of this is on you. If you just got married to someone and they say that someone else is their soulmate and they're also sleeping together, you have to reevaluate what you want out of this relationship. I mean, it sounds like maybe in the beginning he was like, you know what? I don't care because I like this. I want a hot thing on my arm. She wants the money. She can do what she wants, but I like this lifestyle. But now it looks like he kind of like forgot what the rules of the arrangement were. So either you follow the arrangement or you just move on to someone who actually wants to be with you.
Now, I get that she's going back on her part of the arrangement, right? Which is kind of flaunting it or not denying it or laughing about it or embarrassing him, whatever she's doing. I get that. But you're also going back on your part of the arrangement, which is staying rich. So you've both made mistakes here.
Yeah. This is what happens. This is the danger of these arrangements. They can fall apart very quickly. She's like, well,
Can we talk about the future? Can we talk about what we're going to do with the future?
and he goes like, no, not until we resolve these unresolved issues. No. And she goes,
Well, you're accusing me of being with someone. Didn't you think that, maybe if I was really with someone, didn't you think that maybe if I was really with someone then?
he goes, well, tell me, was it true? Why did Ink think that Jeremiah was his kid?
Yikes. Okay,
And so
then
And she goes,
what the
Gordon,
hell?
that's not fair. That's not fair.
and then he has his line, you want fair? Go to a carnival. Just stop lying.
So she tells us, I told him years ago, I said, I'm pregnant. And I also want you to know that in the timeline, this baby might not be yours. And he said, well, he loves me and he's going to raise the child as if it's his. And then the producer's like, and no one, and no paternity test was requested. And she's like, not that I know of.
By the way,
She knows that.
real responsible just airing this out on TV. I'm sure Jeremiah will never hear this. This will never get back to him ever. And it's just casually on a national
This
platform
is so
forever.
sloppy. This is a very, very, very sloppy. And Gordon's like, well, look, you suddenly started making a lot of money on this show. And then, now you don't need me, because you had access to capital or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you the truth. Well, why are you going to shame her for making money? I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to be on either side. Like, look, I get that it's not great that she's out cheating and having babies with other men, but you ordered a trophy and you knew what you got. Like, I cannot listen to you complain about it all these years later. Just stop.
So, it's like,
No, Gordon, not at all. Chill out with that. You're slandering me, and I'm the one that's transferring money to you. Make sure that you can eat.
and he's like, congratulations. He's like, congratulations. Thank you. And she goes,
Oh, but I'm the gold digger, right? I'm married to you for your money, even though you're asking me for money.
I'm like, well, Mia, that's not, gold digging does not necessarily mean like what the current financial situation is. It's like, what was it when you guys got together? Because if he was wealthy and you got together with him when he was wealthy and you were working at like a strip club and then he lost his money and now you're leaving him. Yeah, that does actually kind of look like gold digging.
I'm sorry, but she was way richer than him. I don't know if you watch the show.
Oh, I apologize.
She had a lot of money from an inheritance. So she's saying, listen, if I was leaving this marriage because of financial reasons, I would have left years ago, because he was going out to strip clubs and spending an excessive amount of money, which also, like, I don't feel bad for you on that front either. Like, hello, where do you think he was going? You think he's going to suddenly start going to the library on Wednesday nights?
Did you not remember where he found you?
So she's like, I was losing myself, and he started this whole fight with his family. And, I told him to let go of this fight with his family because he is compounding it by not only going poor, but by going poorer by spending all their money on lawsuits that he's not going to win.
Exactly.
Because she knows that they're guilty as hell from all of that stuff. And that's allegedly that they were spending money on the wrong things. And, having the entire family over to their new rented house that they remodeled that they didn't even own with what money? That family she knows they don't have a leg to stand on with that.
Yeah. And he goes, look, I'm perfectly willing to set all of this aside and move on for the sake of the kids. And she goes,
Remaining in a marriage with you?
He goes, you can frame it whatever way you want. Well, what else? How else would you frame it? So she goes,
I just feel like right now it's like really hard to answer that because like the only thing that I can think about is just like how much of a loose cannon you are.
And he goes, well, I don't think people think I'm a loose cannon. And she's like, well, I just need more time. I can't just say I'm going to stay married to you. Let's just let things die down a little bit. And he goes, well, then stop fucking Joseph then, or whatever the guy's name is. And she's like, Gordon.
He's like, you just walked yourself right into a trap. He goes,
I didn't even know why you're bringing him up.
Because you're screwing him.
He goes, Gordon!
You just told me 2 days ago you were screwing him. Mia, pick a story and stick with it.
And so she tells us, this life that I'm living is not the life that God intended for me. Okay.
God was like, I want this lady to be the first female president of the United States.
Whoops, sorry, ruined it.
God's like, here's what we call a glass ceiling. Okay. I want her to find a man named Ink, and I want to bust through it.
God's like, for this baby, you know what I want? I want them to be a successful owner of several joint franchises. That is my goal for this one.
So we hear a little bit more about Ink. She says that Ink has been such a good friend to her, and he's been really supportive of like ... my decisions. Yeah. Your decision to not marry him because he was poor and to go find a rich man instead and then marry that guy instead while you were getting the money from him and still fucking Ink. Yeah. Can I just say I fucking love Mia, and this is great casting. I mean, we've said it a million times, but you just can't find a Mia.
She is.
I almost said on every street corner. I didn't mean that, but I meant
she's a total grifter. Total grifter.
There's not just a Mia in every casting call. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, we've been praising her grifting for a few years now, and this is just like the culmination of it.
And just the no shame in the game. Just how she's like, yeah, well, he's the true love of my life. And he loves me so much that he allowed me to marry some old man for his money, and he's still just there waiting for me. Yeah. And now he told me, I will be there for you. I will be here waiting for you when that old fucker falls over or leaves you for some younger model. And here we are. And he's still been waiting. He didn't marry anybody else. He's literally still waiting. And we're like, in my mind, I'm hearing the music from The Notebook playing. Like, this is the sweetest thing I've ever seen on The Housewives.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, she's basically in some sort of Jane Austen novel, right? Because those novels from the 19th century are all like, oh, sweet Elizabeth was promised to Mr. Rochester, which I know I'm mixing up.
We don't call her Jane. We call her LLC.
But it's always a story of a lady who is forced into a marriage with a wealthy man, but the real love of her life is out there in the farm or whatever. And then she can finally be liberated from the marriage and be with the man that she really wants. If you think about it, that's kind of what, I mean, Mia's just like a classic 19th century story. It just seems much less romantic when it's taking place in like the DC suburbs.
Yeah. So she's like, I just need a break, Gordon. And he's like, you're already gone. You've already given me separation papers. We're not living together. I knew it, and I made up my mind a long time ago. If a woman says they want to go, go. I'll just be here babysitting.
And then we see the previews for the reunion, and we see Mia FaceTiming with Ink, and then Gordon comes in, and Gordon's like waving at Ink like, hey, what's going on?
She's sitting on the couch. She goes, say hi to Ink. He's like, hey, Ink.
It barely makes any sense. So anyway, that was Potomac. What a wild ending to a mediocre at best season.
A two-parter on Potomac.
Oh, who'd have thought?
Who would have thought it?
You know what? Here's the next season. Let's just look forward to next season. There's still an immense amount of raw talent on this cast. Let's get it back on track. We know this show can be great. So, you know what? We'll just write this one off as a loss and we'll move forward. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for listening. We still
love you, show. We still love you.
We do. Of course we love you. Of course
we believe in you.
We believe in you. Shows go through hard times. They go through ruts. This is where we will be ready for next season, and we'll be ready with a great attitude. So everyone, thanks so much for being here, and we will catch you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
Strolling the park with Caitlin Clark.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Hitchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
She's the wind beneath our Jennifer Wing.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson. Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. We want to hang with Liz Lang. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
We forever love Ava.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall. We're Pilch Poppers for Jen Pilch.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch. She's a little bit loony. Junie. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Chadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Hey grown-ups, the Cat in the Hat Cast is a new podcast from Wondery, perfect for the whole family. Join the Cat in the Hat and your favorite Dr. Seuss characters as they get whisked away on a new adventure every week. Fish dreams of creating his very own polite and quiet podcast. That is, until he gets a surprise visit to his Fishbowl podcast studio from the Cat in the Hat himself, and it becomes very clear that the cat has other plans for the podcast. And those plans are the opposite of quiet. Sing along to new favorite songs, try your luck at Titanic tongue twisters, have some fun with wondrous wordplay, and most importantly, bring your family along for all of the adventures in the Cat in the Hat Cast. Follow the Cat in the Hat Cast on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to the Cat in the Hat cast early and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Wondery Kids Plus on Apple Podcasts today.